Did you know that children's most important language learning happens long before they can speak? Language learning starts when children have those back and forth conversations with their parents and caregivers in those very, very early days of life. From birth, babies start to have back and forth interactions with their parents by looking, making sounds, moving their bodies. And those early conversations are helping children learn the most important things they're going to need to know about how to be a conversation partner. They learn to pay attention to somebody, they learn to take a turn, they learn to respond when somebody else says something to them, and then they learn to take another turn. And there you have it, that's the beginning of conversations. As they get older, they learn to use gestures and they learn to use sounds more consistently, and eventually they learn to use words. So we can see that so much is learned in those early years, all about having conversations, and that's really the foundation for learning to speak. A study conducted by MIT showed that children aged 4 to 6 who had experienced more turn-taking in back and forth interactions with their caregivers had more activity in the part of the brain called Broca's area, responsible for language production and comprehension. This study clearly showed that the more conversations a child had with his or her caregiver, the greater amount of activity occurred in the brain in that important area. So this showed us something really important, because it's not just how many words a child hears that's important, but it's how many turns back and forth a child has while hearing those words. And it's really important that the child is participating in those conversations and not just listening to somebody else speak. So that's why quality is more important than quantity. It is important for children to hear lots of words, but it's the quality of the interaction in which the child hears those words that really is the most important part of helping a child learning to communicate. So what is a quality interaction? A quality interaction is one where the adult observes, waits, and listens, and gives the child a chance to communicate or to do something that shows what he or she is interested in. That means the adult doesn't speak, sits back, and gives the child a chance to communicate. Once the child takes that first turn, the adult then responds, following the child's lead, and saying or doing something that's directly related to what the child has communicated. They wait again, and then the child communicates again. And this leads to that back and forth interaction that is so important. And these kinds of interactions also give children a chance to talk about things, to ask questions, to express opinions, to express their ideas. And that's really what a quality interaction is all about. They happen everywhere. They happen walking to the car, they happen going to the park, they happen when children are brushing their teeth, having a bath, sitting at the dinner table. Any situation where the child is having a good time and is enjoying those interactions with his or her parents are great times for having quality interactions. At the Hanen Centre, we believe that parents and caregivers are the best people to build children's early social, language, and literacy skills. This includes children with language delays and those with developmental challenges such as autism. We also believe in the power of every day, and that children don't learn to communicate by being taught, but by participating in everyday activities, routines, and interactions with their parents. And we also know that it's important to start early, and that the earlier we can help parents, the better the outcomes will be for their children. These principles and current research have informed all the resources we create here at the Hanen Centre. We also have developed programs for parents and other caregivers so they can learn how to help their own children develop better language skills. And we've trained over 10,000 speech pathologists and other early intervention professionals so they can bring the Hanen approach to the families that they work with and help parents, educators, and other caregivers help children participate in those high-quality, everyday interactions that we know are so important to children's language learning. In our next video, you'll see what a high-quality interaction looks like. So stay tuned and subscribe.